Welcome to my walkthrough for the DLC episode The Assignment for The Evil Within. In this walkthrough I will be showing you the location of all the collectibles, and it will also be a no damage walkthrough, just like my original walkthrough for the main campaign of the game. There are 14 collectibles for us to obtain in this chapter, and hopefully we will get a better sense of the story after completing the DLC episode, because as you know, the main campaign of the game left a lot of questions to be answered. So we'll see how it goes. Let's just start by witnessing the intro and I'll be back once the gameplay starts. I hope you enjoy.
Do you stand with Mobius?
I do. I made my choice.
Okay, so here we go with the start of the walkthrough, my friends. First things that we need to do is run towards a cave. We are starting precisely in the same area where Sebastian first started chapter number 2, but we're going to take a different path here. After you pass the dead animal carcass, just enter that cave over there.
Sorry, detectives. Gives it a cream song.
I'm surprised Connolly talked. I didn't think that the haunted managed to talk at all. That's quite a surprise. I still think that Julie Kidman should not wear high heels for a mission like this, but that's just my opinion. Maybe hiking boots or something would be more appropriate.
Shit.
Nonetheless, we're going to collect the first collectible in this chapter. It's very easy to miss, but here it is. It's a file with, I believe, all of the charges that Kidman had at one point. She wasn't really an upstanding citizen, now was she? At least I think that it's in reference to all the crimes that she committed. Like I said, we'll find out a lot more about Julie Kidman as we play on. And hopefully the story of the Evil Within and the way things work will be a lot more clear once we finish this DLC episode, which isn't that long really. There are only 2 chapters. And the first one isn't very hard. Let's keep running ahead to the outside and we will move on to the next section. You'll notice that the way you play with Kidman is very different than the way you played with Sebastian. It's a completely different approach to the game, which I think is very interesting.
Settle down, Leslie.
Leslie.
Leslie. Leslie Withers.
I'm sorry?
Kid, I need you focused. I need your attention. This is a serious matter. Everything we do is a serious matter.
I'm ready. I'm ready.
I'd like to think so, but conviction must be proven with action. As I was saying, your target is Leslie Withers. He's a patient at Beacon Mental Hospital. But he's something more. Simply put, we need him to run our STEM system. Without this asset, our research will mean nothing.
I don't understand. We own Beacon. Why not just take him?
Our relationship with his advisor, Marcelo Jimenez, has become rather strained. The boy is a leverage piece. Jimenez plans to activate a STEM prototype at Beacon without our permission. Obviously, that's unsuitable. Have no illusions. It will be dangerous. Come, take a walk. The nurses are waiting.
Okay, so now we're going to save our game before we move on ahead with the storyline. In this DLC episode, the way we save is kind of peculiar. After we sit on that couch and the cat sits on our lap, we'll be able to save. I guess it works. Hey, it's no different than entering a random prison cell area and have a nurse save the game for you, I guess. So no complaints here. And now for the most part in this first section, all that we need to do is follow our apparent boss, I believe. And we'll witness another cutscene, and only then will things start getting a little bit more complicated, even though this first chapter, once you know what you're doing, is actually pretty simple. We won't have any guns though. We have to use stealth to move forward.
If Jimenez activates the system, you'll be pulled in. Hopefully he doesn't. But as a precaution, we've prepared an infusion to prevent contamination.
Like a vaccine? To protect me?
More accurately, to hide you. We developed STEM, but there is a ghost in the system. Something we call Ruvik. It means to keep us out. This infusion should protect you to some extent.
Why send me alone?
You won't be alone. You'll be with your team from KPD. You'll get a call on the radio reporting an incident at Beacon. Everything will be arranged. But there are consequences of little value. In regards to your mission, they're expendable. Come, sit down. We must have that boy. He will enable us to change everything.
I'll come back with him.
I needn't remind you the consequences for failure. Loyalty is a sensitive subject for us. Trust is such a valued commodity in today's world. So once again, I ask you, do you stand with Mobius?
I do. I made my choice.
Now you must back up your words with actions. Do not waver. Now I'm going to count down, and when I'm finished, I'll ask you a series of questions. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Now I'd like to ask you some questions. Have you ever felt abandoned by the ones you trusted?
Hey! Anyone?
Okay, here we go once again, my friends. So the first thing that we're going to do is grab a flashlight. That's the only weapon aside from a few bottles that we'll get in this chapter. So let's start by collecting the flashlight. And before you head inside the next room, let's get the second collectible. We have to point our light at a snail. Yes, you heard it right. And that snail will turn into an object. Really like sunlight, it seems, and the noises it was making, well, it was highly suggestive, but I'm going to pretend the snail didn't make those noises, I guess. And now we can move on ahead. Like I was saying earlier on, in this first chapter you need to mostly you just have to be very stealthy. You don't want to engage any enemies, or you'll most likely end up dead. So we just need to go through this door. Remember that weird looking monster that appeared once we started this section? Well, he's going to be the main antagonist for this first chapter, and you don't want to get caught by it, or you might end up being cut in half.
Hold on, I'm gonna find a way in there.
Well, let's go ahead and try and help that poor guy. We're going to use the ventilation shaft to maneuver to his room. In fact, in this first section, be prepared to use the ventilation shafts quite a lot.
Please. No.
Uh-oh.
No.
And he just got eaten in half by the creepy, high heels, mutant monster nurse, whatever you want to call it. The truth is, we need to be very careful around that thing, otherwise we'll end up like our friend here.
What could have
And we
done
don't want that. But as long as we're careful, we should be fine. Be very careful, because this guy actually grabs your leg if you approach him.
I'm afraid that the fragile mental states of the subjects are limiting our studies. Mobius wants us to move past beacon patients and onto more stable people. They want to get STEM closer to its intended use. Would they see the world in the same way? Would a sane mind weather the psychically draining experience? I had that dream again. I entered the STEM myself.
So that's collectible number 3. We learned a little bit about the experiments going on at Beacon Mental Hospital and the way things happened here. But like I said, be careful, don't approach that guy, otherwise he will grab your leg and damage you. In fact, that's the case for most of the bodies that you'll find on the floor, so do be careful around them. Now there's a haunted over there, so what we're going to do is use a different command that we don't have available in the main campaign of the game. We're going to
Come here.
call them out, and as they come and check, we're going to move to the corner, and now we can move towards the door. It would have been very useful if we could have screamed at our enemies in the main campaign. It would make things a little bit easier, but that's a DLC exclusive. Now we're going to get the next collectible. It's very easy to solve. We need to press the buttons that have blood on them. So we start with the button that has the biggest blood stain on it, and then we move all the way until we press the button with the least noticeable blood stain on it, and that's how we open that safe and collect the file. I'll pick up this bottle and we're going to throw it inside that room over there, so that we can clear a path for our escape and so that the enemy does not spot us. Just head inside, dude, come on. Because Julie doesn't even have a knife like Sebastian does, so she can't even stealth kill her enemies. So like I said, we really have to be very careful here, because if we engage a haunted, we either have to be faster than them, moving around, and that's not going to be easy, because as you can see, Kidman's stamina is even worse than Sebastian's. You wouldn't think that. She looks like a healthy woman, but she moves more slowly than my grandma, who's 93. So we have to use stealth to our advantage. By entering this room and ringing the phone, you will lure the haunted into that room, and now we can lock the haunted inside. So there we go. That takes care of that. And now let's keep going. We need to pick up a key card so that we can move to the next area. I mean, Sebastian couldn't run for like, let's say 10 steps without running out of gas. Kidman can't even run for 5. It's a little bit frustrating, but it is the way that it is. So now we're going to hide in this locker, and we're going to wait here calmly. Getting awfully close there, buddy. Oh. Here comes the creepy nurse monster mutant thing. Guess she did help us out here. She or it. She must be the keeper's cousin. Or sister. Yeah, she's the keeper's little sister. That makes sense. And now let's just wait for it to go away. And we're going to quickly get out of here. The haunted can't get out of the room, so we're good. And now just turn around the corner, and there we go. There's the exit. And we'll be in the clear pretty soon. Just run down this hallway. And we're going to get through that door that magically opens for us.
Agent status terminated. Authorization invalid.
Now we do need to be careful here,
Terminated.
because we don't want to
Maybe I can force it into
get caught by the monster. So just duck here, stay close to the wall, and you'll be fine. Or you should be fine. Just don't move. It's totally the Keeper's sister. It's even more creepy than the Keeper though. Quite an interesting design for an enemy. I mean, I know that the Evil Within has quite the interesting choices for monster designs, but that kind of, well, the high heels, big legs, and then a deformed torso and a box for a head.
that thing. Used its light.
If the system is activated, you'll hear a high-pitched noise. From then, we can't do anything to help.
What's gonna happen to me?
All I can say is that it will be unsettling, but Leslie will be in there with you. You'll need to find it.
This is from before. Leslie. Is he really here? Leslie is here. Okay, I gotta get to him before anything else does.
Alright guys, and this is going to conclude the first part of my walkthrough for the assignment. I really hope you guys enjoyed the walkthrough and keep following it. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all very soon for part number 2. Take care, my friends.